Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you found your way here. Whether you believe in angels, sense them around you, or are just curious, this episode is for you. Today, I want to share something very close to my heart. These are the 10 most important lessons I've learned from the Archangels over the years, not through books or doctrine, but through quiet moments, whispers in the dark, dreams, meditations, and yes, even during life's hardest times. This isn't about perfection, it's about connection. These lessons didn't come with trumpets or wings. They came softly when I needed them most. And if you're listening now, maybe one of these messages is exactly what you need today. I'll be sharing these lessons one by one, each connected to a different archangel who has touched my life in a profound way. I invite you to listen not just with your ears, but with your soul. Let's begin. Lesson 1. From Archangel Michael. Courage isn't loud. If you'd asked me years ago what courage looked like, I'd have said, boldness, bravery, maybe even battle. But Archangel Michael showed me something very different. He came to me during a time when I felt anything but strong. I was unsure. I was tired. I was at a crossroads. And I remember feeling this deep presence behind me, like someone was standing watch. Not forcing me forward, but simply being there. And then I heard it, not with my ears, but with my heart. Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet choice to keep going. Michael taught me that real courage isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up. It's choosing to trust, even when the way ahead is unclear. It's saying yes to life when fear tells you to say no. It's putting one foot in front of the other and whispering, I'm still here. This lesson changed how I see myself. I no longer wait to feel fearless. I just walk with my fear and trust that Archangel Michael is walking beside me. If you're listening and facing something today, remember, courage isn't about not being afraid, it's about moving forward anyway. Let's breathe that in together. In the next lesson, I'll share what Archangel Gabriel taught me about speaking your truth, especially when it shakes you to say it. But first, let's sit with Michael's message. And maybe today, just showing up is your act of courage. Lesson 2. From Archangel Gabriel. Speak the truth you're afraid to say. If Michael helped me stand, Gabriel helped me speak. There's something sacred about truth, not the kind we force or shout or try to prove, but the kind that trembles in our chest, the truth that wants to be born through us, even if our voice shakes as we speak it. Gabriel is often known as the messenger angel, and what he taught me was this: your truth is not just for you, it's medicine for someone else too. I remember a moment, maybe you've had one like it, when I stayed silent instead of speaking up. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to be misunderstood. But the silence, it hurt. Not just in my throat, but in my spirit. And then I felt it. That gentle, unmistakable nudge from Gabriel. No pressure, no fear. Just a presence that said, it's time. So I spoke. And yes, it was awkward. Yes, my hands were shaking. But something shifted. I realized that truth isn't always received the way we want, but speaking it sets something free inside of us, and sometimes inside of others too. Gabriel showed me that our words are creative, that when they come from a heart aligned with light, they become prayers in motion. Even a whisper can ripple out into the world. So if you've been holding something in, if there's something you're scared to say, but you know it's real and true and yours, maybe this is your sign. Speak it, even gently, even in writing, even to the mirror, because you never know who needs that truth to finally speak their own. Take a moment now to breathe with me. What truth inside you is ready to be born? Next, I'll share the third lesson from Archangel Raphael and how he taught me that healing doesn't always look like we think it should, but it's always happening. Lesson 3 from Archangel Raphael. Healing is not always what you think it is. When I first started working with Archangel Raphael, I thought healing meant fixing, taking away the pain, solving the problem, feeling better quickly. But Raphael didn't come rushing in like a rescuer. He came quietly, like green light in the distance, and the first thing he ever whispered to me was this: healing is not about going back to how you were. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. That stayed with me. You see, I had a wound, emotional, not physical, that I kept asking to be taken away. I prayed, I meditated, I tried everything, and still it lingered. One night I cried out for help, and in that silence I felt a presence wrap around me like warm air. I could almost smell herbs and wildflowers, and Raphael didn't say much, but I knew the healing was already happening, not by removing the pain, but by softening my resistance to it, by helping me see what it was teaching me. Sometimes healing looks like letting go of a memory that no longer defines you. Sometimes it looks like resting when the world wants you to hustle. Sometimes it's just letting yourself be loved through your broken places. Raphael taught me that healing isn't a finish line. It's a relationship with yourself, with time, with grace. So if you've been asking for healing and wondering why it's taking so long, maybe it's already happening in your sleep, in your tears, in the way you're still here, still trying. Trust that. Let Raphael walk beside you. He doesn't rush. He restores. The next lesson is from Archangel Uriel, and it's about the light you carry, even when everything around you feels dark. Let's keep going. Lesson 4 from Archangel Uriel. The light you carry is meant for the dark. There's something different about Uriel. He doesn't always come with the warmth of Raphael or the bold presence of Michael. Uriel's energy is still, but fierce in a quiet way, like the glow of a candle that never flickers, even in the storm. When I was going through a time of confusion, when nothing made sense and I felt like I'd lost my path, Uriel didn't offer me clear directions. Instead, he showed me a light. It wasn't above me, it was in me. And the lesson he brought was this: don't curse the darkness, bring your light to it. At first I didn't understand. I kept asking, what should I do? Where should I go? How do I fix this? But Uriel doesn't always speak in words. He speaks in inner clarity, in gut feelings, in sudden knowing that settles like truth. And he showed me that we are not meant to wait for the world to be perfect before we shine. We are meant to shine in the imperfection. You, listening right now, you have light, not because you've earned it, not because everything is perfect, but because it was given to you. It is you. Uriel's presence helps you remember who you are when the world tries to make you forget. He is the angel of wisdom, inner fire, divine logic, and when you feel lost, he helps you find the map that was hidden inside you all along. So if things feel dark right now, Don't wait for the sun to rise. Strike your match. Coming up next. Lesson 5, a very personal one. The day I learned from Archangel Chamuel what love really is and how we forget it far too easily. Let's take a breath and I'll meet you there. Lesson 5, from Archangel Chamuel. Love was never missing, you just stopped feeling it. There was a moment in my life when I felt unseen. Not unloved exactly, but like I'd somehow slipped off the radar of the universe. Like I was giving and giving, but nothing was coming back. Maybe you felt that too. And that's when Chamuel appeared. Not with trumpets or blazing light, but with a gentle ache in my chest that made me stop and listen. He is the angel of pure love. Not romantic love, not surface affection, but the kind of love that remembers who you are, even when you forget. What he showed me changed something in me forever. Love was never missing, he whispered. You just stopped feeling it. Let me remind you. And oh, how deeply I felt it. Suddenly, the breeze brushing my face felt like a hug. A song I hadn't heard in years brought tears to my eyes. A memory returned, not to haunt me, but to show me I had always been loved, even in the moments I thought I was most alone. Chamuel doesn't teach through words, he teaches through presence. He helps you notice the way the universe keeps saying, I love you, in 1,000 quiet ways. He showed me that love isn't earned, it isn't bargained for, it is. It surrounds us constantly, but we have to let ourselves feel it again. So if you're listening right now and wondering where the love went, it didn't. It's still here, in your breath, in the small kindnesses, in the way your heart hasn't given up, even when it's tired. Let Chamuel remind you, you are still loved, deeply, eternally. You never stopped being worthy of that. Next, I'll share lesson 6. It's from Archangel Zadkiel, and it's all about forgiveness, alchemy, and how your past can become power if you let it. Take a moment with Chamuel's love, then we'll walk on. Lesson 6, from Archangel Zadkiel. Your past was never meant to define you, only refine you. There's a kind of heaviness that comes from regret, from moments we wish we could redo. Things we said, choices we made, times we didn't know better. For a long time I carried those like stones in a bag over my shoulder. Until one day, in meditation, a presence came through so clearly, strong, still, and filled with compassion. It was Zadkiel, the angel of mercy, and spiritual alchemy. And what he offered me was not a lecture, but a transformation. You are not your past, he said. You are what you choose to become with it. That line broke something open in me. Zadkiel didn't erase my memories. He showed me how to look at them differently, like heat that tempers metal, or pressure that turns coal to diamonds. He showed me that forgiveness isn't about pretending things didn't happen. It's about no longer letting them control who I am. And that includes forgiving myself, maybe especially that. You see, Zadkiel is the one who stands at the doorway between shame and freedom. He won't push you through, but he'll light the way. If you're listening now and there's something from your past that keeps playing on repeat, something you wish you could change, this is your invitation not to forget, but to transmute, to take the pain and turn it into purpose, to take the mistake and turn it into wisdom, to take the story and choose a new ending. Zadkiel stands with you as you do this, and he reminds you mercy is real and you deserve it too. Lesson 7 from Archangel Azrael. Grief is love with nowhere to go until you let it flow again. This lesson is the most personal one I'll share. Many years ago, I lost my son. He was just 10 years old. And in that moment, my world stopped. There are no words that can ever fully capture what it feels like to lose a child. Only silence, a silence so deep it echoes through everything. I remember sitting in that silence, feeling like I was floating between worlds, disconnected from life, from light, from even myself. And then, a presence. Still, soft, unmistakable. It was Archangel Azrael. People call him the angel of death, but I've come to understand he is not the end. He is the bridge. He didn't try to take away my pain. He didn't tell me to be strong. He simply sat with me in the dark. And eventually I heard him, not with my ears, but with something deeper. Grief, he whispered, is love with nowhere to go until you let it flow again. It was the first moment I felt I could breathe. Azrael didn't come to erase my grief. He came to bless it. He showed me that my love for my son didn't end the day he left this world. It transformed. It became quieter but no less powerful. And in the years since, I've felt my son near me. In dreams, in feathers that appear out of nowhere, in moments of laughter I didn't think I'd ever have again. Azrael helped me understand that death is not separation. It's a change in how we connect. He taught me that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means allowing love to keep flowing through tears, through memories, through the simple act of waking up and choosing to live again. If you've lost someone, if your grief feels too heavy to hold, please know you are not alone. Azrael walks with you, and so does your loved one. Love never dies. It just finds new ways to reach you. Lesson 8 from Archangel Metatron. There is a pattern to everything, even the pain. When I first connected with Archangel Metatron, I didn't quite understand him. His energy felt vast, electric, almost too big to grasp, but then slowly I began to sense his rhythm, not as thunder, but as sacred order, as if everything, every experience, every detour, every heartbreak was part of some grand design. Metatron is the scribe of the book of life. He holds the records of our soul's journey, before, during, and after this lifetime. And one day, when I was questioning why so many difficult things had happened in my life, including the loss of my son, his voice came through clearly. There is a pattern to everything, he said, even the pain, especially the pain. At first, I resisted. How could something so devastating be part of a pattern? But he showed me, not in words, but in visions, spirals, grids, fractals of light, sacred geometry flowing through every timeline of my life. Moments that once felt random now glowed with purpose. Metatron helped me understand that the soul doesn't measure life by comfort. It measures by evolution, by what we remember, by how much light we allow to shine through the cracks. And I saw that even in the darkest times, something inside me was being rewritten, realigned, not broken, transformed. He reminded me that those of us who walk a spiritual path aren't here to avoid hardship. We're here to awaken through it, and that sometimes we're part of a bigger equation than we can see. Our choices, our pain, our healing, it ripples out, affecting others we may never meet. That ripple is the mission. So if you're feeling lost right now, if nothing makes sense, if you're crying out, "Why is this happening to me?" Metatron whispers, "It is not happening to you, it is unfolding through you. The pattern is sacred, and you are not off track. You are exactly where your soul chose to remember who it truly is." Next, we'll meet Archangel Haniel, and she brings the softest power of all. Her lesson is about intuition, sacred cycles, and reclaiming your divine feminine flow, no matter your gender. Lesson 9 from Archangel Haniel. Your intuition isn't a gift, it's your original language. There was a time in my life when I second-guessed everything, every decision, every feeling, every nudge from within. I kept looking outside myself for answers, books, teachers, signs, anything but that quiet knowing that lived inside me. And then Haniel appeared, not in fire or force, but in moonlight. She came during a dream, standing at the edge of water, cloaked in shimmering silver. She didn't speak in words, she just looked at me. And I remembered. "Your intuition," she finally said, "isn't something you have to earn. It's your original language. You've just forgotten how to listen." That was the moment I began to trust myself again. Haniel is the angel of intuition, cycles, and grace. She rules over the moon's energy, the sacred feminine, and the parts of us that move in waves, not straight lines. She taught me that wisdom doesn't always come as certainty. Sometimes it comes as a feeling you can't explain. A gentle knowing in your belly, a pull in your chest, a dream that lingers, or a word that keeps echoing in your mind. She showed me that intuition isn't separate from logic, it informs it. And when we stop judging our inner knowing as just emotion, we open the door to a deeper kind of guidance. Haniel helped me reconnect with the natural rhythms of my body, my emotions, even the moon. She reminded me that my sensitivity wasn't a weakness. It was the very thing that kept me connected to the divine. So if you've been told you're too emotional, too sensitive, too out there, take that as a compliment. You are tuned in. You are remembering the language you came here knowing. Haniel wants you to stop asking if you're imagining things and start asking what they're trying to show you. And now we come to the final lesson, Lesson 10, a return to Michael, but in a way you may not expect, because even after all this, there's one more truth he whispered to me that changed everything. Lesson 10, a final message from Archangel Michael. You were never alone, not even once. As I reach the end of these 10 lessons, it feels only right to return to where we began, to Archangel Michael. But this time, he didn't come to remind me to be brave. He came to remind me that I was never walking this path alone. There was a day, not too long ago, when everything felt heavy. Old grief, new worries, the weight of carrying so many stories, including my own. I sat in the quiet, wondering if I was still on the right path, if anyone up there was even listening anymore. And then Michael's presence filled the room, not like thunder, not like fire, just a stillness, a warmth, the kind that makes your whole body stop and remember it's safe. And this is what he said, so clearly, so simply. I wrote it down immediately. You were never alone, not even once. And I wept, because somewhere along the way I had started to believe I had to do it all myself, to hold it all together, to be strong, even when I felt small. But Michael reminded me there were always wings behind me, always a sword clearing the path even when I couldn't see it, always whispers guiding me through the fog. Even in the silence I was seen, even in the darkness I was known, and so are you. If you're listening now, wondering if the angels have forgotten you, let this be your answer. You were never alone, not even once, not as a child, not through the heartbreak, not in the hospital, not in the sleepless nights, not in the grief, not in the joy. They were there, and they still are. Michael stands beside you now, just as he stood beside me, just as he always will. And so these are the 10 most important lessons I've learned from the Archangels. Each one has shaped me, softened me, strengthened me. And if even one of these touched something in your soul today, then this time has been worth it. Thank you for walking this sacred path with me. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. You're not too late. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Until next time, stay open, stay listening. And remember, heaven is always closer than it seems.